Right. Hopefully you can really heal us now. This new equipment, it's interesting. It's a challenge, but we're getting there. I'm Mark Griffiths. I need to introduce myself then as somebody else. And Mia and I will take you through the first half, and Andy and I will take you through the second half to get over our equipment problems. So we've gone through the team. By the way, we've just been told by Bolton that there's a lot of crowd building up outside because, well, I mean, it's been a nightmare getting to Bolton today. The roads were terrible. I know that at least one train from Chester, the driver didn't turn up, so people were delayed that way as well. But they're not going to delay the kickoff because it's on TV. They are going to leave the turnstiles open, so if anyone's out there on social media saying they're queuing up outside, they're going to leave the turnstiles open longer than normal, but they're not going to delay the kickoff. Well, seeing as we probably picked up more people now, we should just mention the Wrexham team again, perhaps. Yep. So that one change, Seb Reven coming in on the right-hand side, replacing Ryan Barnett. Okonkwo in goal, Cleworth, O'Connell and O'Connor the centre-backs. And on the right-hand side, as I said, Reven. On the left-hand side will be McLean, we assume. In the middle will be Cannon, Dobson and Lee. Up front, Marriott and Palmer. The subs for Wrexham, Callum Burton, George Evans, Sam Dolby, Ollie Rathbone, Dan Scarr, Stephen Fletcher and Ryan Barnett. I don't think you got your chance to have your say on Reven, although my headphones were working either at that point. But I feel sorry for Barnett not playing, but I guess that's rotation for you. Yeah,
it's one of them. You're sort of disappointed Barnett's not starting, but then also really excited that Revan's getting his opportunity in the league. I thought he was brilliant Tuesday night, but then I thought Barnett was equally just as good last Saturday against Wickham. So it's interesting. I kind of thought today Phil Parkinson might go a bit more defensive away from home against a strong side, but we'll see. I think Revan is obviously very, very good going forward. I haven't seen too much of him coming back and defending against a double strike partnership or wingers, which he'll probably be tested a bit more today than he was Tuesday. But it's one we're going to have to wait and see for. But we look at that bench still again today. It's really strong. I think no one expected too many changes from last Saturday versus Wickham. But I think today is another step up. No disrespect to Wickham. I thought they were a really good side as well, which I'm sure we'll be saying all season against some top clubs. But this Bolton team, obviously last year just missed out on promotion, so they'll be really up for it today. Their first home game in the league as well.
Yeah, Bolton, like I said before we had our little technical issue, Bolton are going up this year for my money. They've kept pretty much the side that should have gone up last year. They brought in a couple of other interesting players, very interesting players, and they are going to be a proper test. This could well be our toughest away match. They made a couple of changes from the side that won last Saturday at Orient. It was a struggle for them, to be fair, because they controlled the early part of the game, scored, but then when Orient equalised just for half-time, they then dominated for about 25 or so minutes. Fortunately for Bolton, they managed to recover and control the closing stages of the game and won it when Victor Adebayo came off the bench and immediately scored as a free kick. He came on, swung in the box and he scored. Well, he hasn't got a starting place today, but then they have got a lot of attacking talent to throw into this side. Fantastic choices for them. And so they've got Dion Collins, who of course is a well-established player at this level, supported by John McAtee, who of course was outstanding against us for Grimsby in that playoff match I don't really want to mention much, and Welsh international Aaron Collins. So a couple of real high-quality players there to potentially cause us issues. Also, George Johnston starts, which is interesting. He's been out for a year with injury. His first game was last Tuesday in the League Cup, when they rotated a bit, but not massively. One of the players that misses out is Arfield, a Canadian international, who of course did so well in the Premier League for Burnley, and then had subsequently played for Rangers. But again, that's the strength and depth they've got. They lose a player of his quality, and yet you look at that squad, and they still have got a lot of good players and players on the bench who you'd think would be a threat.
Yeah, like you say, Mark, I think how important is it to keep a side together that's sort of been so close to getting promoted last year. Obviously a real strong side. I think they only missed out the automatic places by a small number of points, and then obviously got to the playoff final where they just fell short to Oxford in the end. But even the players they've brought in, it just strengthens that squad even more. The likes of John McAtee, who obviously, like you say, we remember not so fondly from that Grimsby playoff final a few years ago, where I thought he was by miles away the best player on the pitch that day. But then the likes of Scott Arfield as well, different approach, really experienced player who I think is again another top signing for them.
Yeah, they're going to be quite a threat this season, Bolton. Both sides are ready for kick-off. We're going to have a minute's applause. This is Bolton's first home league game of the season, of course, and two of their players from the past died in the summer, and therefore in a moment we'll have a minute's applause for them. I guess they're waiting for Sky to tell them that they're ready for them to start the minute's applause. Wrexham are wearing the all black kits today. Bolton in white shirts and navy blue shorts, a traditional kit for them, as we're now going to have that minute's applause. I always like when a minute's applause starts beforehand, before time, because the fans just sincerely want to play tribute. I think that's kind of nice, spontaneous moment. As we're about to get things underway then, Bolton having their pre-match huddle. Wrexham players going through some last moment warm-ups. And it's great to be in an arena like this. It's a proper ground, isn't it, this?
Yeah, we've spoke about it a lot over the last few months in the lead up to getting into this league. These are the days you look forward to, the away days where you come to these big stadiums. I think there's just over 24,000 here today. I think about 4,000 Wrexham fans have travelled. It's going to be some day. Let's just hope we can get a result to go with it.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fantastic? And the Wrexham the ground looks pretty full, so it looks like that problem outside the ground hopefully has been solved as we wait for the referees go ahead to start the match. And here we are, Bolton kicking off in their white shirts and navy blue shorts, and immediately good work by Palmer just to come across and stop the first long ball forwards by Owen Toll. But yeah, I mean, this is a fascinating test. This is the standard we have to meet as George Santos gets the ball, launches a huge ball forwards, dealt with well by O'Connell. But now Thomason is switching nicely. Ball's prodded forwards, but Wrexham win it back. Dobson trying to control the pace of the game to Cleworth, who knocks it forwards with distance. Cannon's managed to get there, and wow, a firm challenge on him. Referee's okay with it as the defender goes over the top to win the header. And in the end, a throw to Wrexham. A bit of a frantic start, really.
Yeah, it was Johnston who just goes to head the ball, and it's one of them where you normally see it a lot with strikers where they just try and get their body in to protect it, and the defender or whoever is trying to win that header sort of just flies over them and sort of lands quite awkwardly on their back. So a bit of a sore one, but he's got straight back up. Fair play to him.
Terrific noise here as Revan throws down a line, flicked on well by Palmer. Half cleared, and Bolton will knock it down the line to get rid of it a bit further. In fact, it's knocked forward towards Charles, doesn't reach him. Dobson's header lacks power though, and Bolton will look to break. Well intercepted by O'Connor as Collins tried to run in behind. McLean gets his first boo of the game, and we know he always does in away matches, well, all matches. But he's particularly disliked here apparently because he scored a goal for Wigan here and then celebrated rather, shall we say, enthusiastically. So yeah, he's going to get proper abuse here, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read up his best scoring record is actually against Bolton, so I'm sure he'll be thinking he could probably get himself on the score sheet today just going off that.
Well, let's hope he keeps that up as Bolton squander the ball. Toll just hitting a hopeful ball forwards. It's not long by Wrexham. Palmer beaten by Santos, who's a massive high quality central defender. Bolton claim the ball back, and you can already see it's not going to be easy to get the ball off them and progress through the middle with them. They look very solid indeed as Johnson passes it on, and out the back is Santos. Bolton happily just shifting it from side to side. Little ball inside is picked up by Josh Dakers-Cogley, and he's found a bit of space himself now in the middle of the pitch. He helps the ball on, and that's a magnificent through ball. Revan's pace gets Wrexham out of trouble. It was a glorious ball by George Johnston down the left-hand side. It looked to have split Wrexham completely wide open. Tremendous work by Revan to poke it behind for the corner. Oh, that was a real chance.
Yeah, first defensive test for Revan, and he does really well in the end. It just looked for a second like the ball was a bit too good, and he just got himself a bit too high up the pitch. But he does really well to recover and get that tackle in.
Here's the corner then, an in-swinger from the left-hand side. Palmer gets it well in the near post to get rid of it. Volleyed back in, and Okonkwo takes it comfortably enough, going down to his right. He looks at the early delivery. Marriott's made a run for him, but he doesn't fancy that, so Wrexham will look to get a bit of a grip on possession if he goes short. He's got the three centre-backs all offering, and he gives it in the end to O'Connell. O'Connell floats it long, looking for Palmer. Marriott's looking for a flick on. Palmer goes the other way, though, doesn't find Revan. And now here are Bolton once more with Schön. Tackle falls kindly for Charles, who swiftly plays it into the right-hand side. And Wrexham had to backpedal as Collins tries a shot. Good save by Okonkwo. Full stretch, tipped around the post. It might have been going wide, but Okonkwo wasn't to know that.
No, Bolton have started really well. It just the sort of counter-attack in a way comes off Ollie Palmer, actually, who makes a decent interception, but it just falls to a Bolton player. And Collins then, he's just driving at our defence, gets a good sort of touch and takes the shot off because he's just got too much space, and it's a really good save from Okonkwo.
Corner swept in again to the near post, flicked on but up in the air, nodded down but harmlessly, and it dribbles out of play for a goal kick. Oh, corner given. So Wrexham really having to weather an early storm here. Yeah, it was a good tip round, full stretch by Okonkwo. The ball, I think, might have just been going wide, but I wouldn't want to put money on it, and certainly Okonkwo couldn't afford to do anything but get a hand onto it. So, corner, right-hand side, swept in, under the bar. There's a scramble in there, and Okonkwo dives. The ball is not grabbed by him, and eventually it's smashed clear to the halfway line by Connor. Yeah, Okonkwo dived into the scramble, couldn't grab the ball, and that was a scary moment for Wrexham.
Yeah, it looked like from our angle that he had it. It was just bodies sort of everywhere in that box, very congested, and I think in the end Wrexham do well to get it out of there and make sure it didn't land to a Bolton player.
As Bolton tried to build down the right, and enthusiastic chasing of it by Schön, who was on the wrong side of the pitch after that corner, couldn't quite keep it in. I mean, you're talking about quality in their team. I mean, Schön started 2 of Hungary's 3 group games in the 2020 European Championships. Just decent player, proper player. They got real quality and they're putting Wrexham on the back foot. O'Connor throws it down the line, headed back to him. He sets himself and volleys it long, and that'll be easily dealt with. Headed back where it came from. McLean tries to run out of play, but it's kept in, and O'Connell has to go in and jab a foot in. Cannon with a brave challenge in midfield, but the ball falls for Bolton. Good pressure to force them into their own half and force a back pass, and Marriott's interested in that, but was never going to get that ahead of Baxter, who knocks it long. Good work by O'Connell as he's backed into. Ball knocked over the top. Palmer's offside for me. Langton keeps his flag down and puts his flag up once Santos plays it. Firstly, great pace by Santos. And secondly, there's no VAR. I think he should have put his flag up, to be honest.
Yeah,
no one else is going to get there.
I saw on X actually last night that there was an incident in one of the games that I can't actually remember, but the linesman's let play go on, and a player's actually ended up getting seriously injured. So I do really think that rule needs looking at, especially when you haven't got VAR or anything involved. They sort of wait for that decision, and I don't really know why. Palmer looked quite obviously offside to me.
Yeah, he was a good yard offside, and okay, in games like VAR, okay, they're saying another player might run from a deeper position, but there was nobody who was going to make a run for a deep position. Nah, it's just daft, that, wasn't it? Anyway, Bolton are moving around in their own half now, building themselves up for their next attack. It's a sloppy pass that by Sheehan. Ball's picked up and played beautifully by Dobson. Now Reevan's got space through the middle. Only Marriott ahead of him. He gets past 1-1, gets in the box, cuts inside, and he's tackled. In the end, it has to be stabbed behind for the corner. And wow, this is our crowd. The Wrexham fans roaring. They loved that. Reevan is such a direct threat, isn't he?
Yeah, we know what Bolton are going to do. They did it. They tried to do it a bit last week against Leyton Orient. Didn't come off as much as they would have liked. They're very possession based. Last season, that's what got them success. This year, I think they're going to try and be a bit quicker in possession as they've gotten stronger. But they're the sort of moments where we can get at them if they make that mistake. It was Sheehan then, and we just pick it up. Really nice ball into Revan from Dobson, and yeah, Revan does really well to get into the box and win the corner.
And here is the corner. O'Connor sweeps it in, headed clear. Cannon has intercepted on the edge of the area. The ball bobbles wide. He's unlucky. Tries to feed it out there for O'Connor. Doesn't quite get it right. He's being buffeted all the time. Throw to Bolton. They're stealing a lot of yards there. They're going to try and take it from there. Yeah, ref spotted that. Yeah, Sheehan made the mistake. He's, of course, Wales' captain in our most recent international. That 0-0 against Gibraltar. Maybe we shouldn't bring that up again. Wasn't a high point, was it? Throw-in taken, a bit short, a return ball by Thomason, but it's cleared. And now in midfield, Dobson, who played an excellent ball to find Reevan, picks him up. Nice first time ball by O'Connell as well to Cannon in a bit of space, and he lofts it for Reevan again, sprinting towards the box, and he wins another corner. Really, again, his pace causing problems, and Johnston had to come across quickly and lunge in to make the challenge. Well, there's our game plan.
Yeah, Reevan just causing problems for that left-hand side of Bolton's defence. They don't really know what to do with him at the moment. He's just so direct. We say it every week. Well, we've only said it last few weeks, I suppose, because he's new signing. But, we say the same with Barnett as well, and I suppose it is a very much like-for-like change.
In swinger then, from the right, O'Connell sweeps it in, headed beyond the keeper by a defender, but also beyond the far post. And Lee's done really well to get there first, holds it up by the corner flag, looking for support, wriggling around, man tight on him. In the end, he wins the throw off Toll. Lee with the ball in his hands, looking for options, level the edge area. McLean says, calm down, I'll have this. To the delight of the Bolton fans. He looks around for options with the boos ringing in his ears. He finds Lee, but Lee can't shield it, and it's cleared. O'Connell 40 yards out. Dobson under pressure. Lovely drag back. Beats two men with his turn, and just underhits his pass, but it falls in the box for Marriott. He's forced away from goal, and as Wrexham fans very optimistically shout for a penalty from the far end of the pitch, Bolton look to come clear with the ball over the top for Collins. It just spins away from a throw-in. We're back in the game now. I know it's pleasing to see.
Yeah, definitely. Just grown in confidence a bit over the last few minutes. Since that, really strong start by Bolton. Just there then, I think the ball just gets stuck under Jack Marriott's feet a little bit, and he's got two players on him. I think he's got Palmer to his right maybe, or Cannon. He just can't find him with that little ball inside or get a shot off even.
Ball's in midfield. Bolton picking it up. Johnston comfortable with the ball at his feet, comes forwards, helps it left. McAtee has got Johnston making a great run down the flank. Good sliding challenge by Cannon to stop him from getting into a dangerous position there. The throw will be taken on the left flank by Schön. He has McAtee short. Doesn't use it as of yet. He's still waiting as players rotate, facing the box, and he finds Sheehan there. He's engaged by Dobson, who holds him up. Bolton trying to go around the outside, has a cute idea, but Reven intercepts, knocks it long. Santos will get there ahead of Marius. It's a poor back pass though, and he has to recover and play a second back pass, just as he did last Saturday. Marius very busy when defenders have the ball.
Yeah, I think he might have to do a lot of that today. We've already seen it a couple of times where Bolton are sort of pressing as we win it back and immediately go for that early long ball over the top, and Jack Marriott's just hassling and hounding the defenders, trying to force a mistake out of them, and we almost gets it again there.
Here come Bolton again then, in their own half with Johnston. Decides he doesn't like what's in front of him. Goes back to Baxter to start again. Bolton, as Mia said, possession based, and they found a little bit of space on the right hand side for Toll to drive into. He helps it on to the right hand side. Dacres Cogley laying it off into midfield. Thomason, Sheehan in lots of space, 35 yards out. Wrexham have dropped off now. Defensive line on the edge of the area. The midfielders and Marriott protecting them. The ball works over in the middle of the pitch to Thomason as they shift it from left to right, looking to stretch Wrexham, create space. Collins into the box. Charles Mouis mishit that, I thought, but he mainly scooped it over Okonkwo and into the net. It landed on top of the net. I beg your pardon, McAtee it was. Nice run, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good effort. If it was intentional, then it was cheeky, but almost actually pulled it off. I think Okonkwo was sort of rooted. I think he had it covered in the end, but yeah, just it sort of looks like it's never on the shot. I don't know if he did actually scuff it in the end, but yeah, a bit of a warning sign for Wrexham.
Yeah, there's nice movements as well, getting in there, and yeah, that scooped shot. Yeah, but McAtee, it could be deliberate, couldn't it? He's got that in his locker. I thought it was a bit of a miss hit at first, but yeah, nearly got it in as McLean looks to buy a rather cheap free kick. The referee's given it. I'm surprised at that. He took a long time thinking about it. Collins put his hand on his back. I don't think he did much more than that.
Yeah, it's as if he realised it was James McLean and got a bit nervous and thought, oh, I better give this, because it was very delayed. But we'll take the free kick.
Yeah, absolutely. Bolton fans love that, of course. Here's O'Connell now, deep in his own half, knocks down the left flank for McLean. It's comfortably intercepted, but Lee's won it back, and the edge of the box tries to find Marriott. It's deflected and just can't quite drop for Palmer. Dobson with the tactical foul in midfield just to stop a breakaway as Charles was trying to run through the middle. Referees then not happy where Bolton took the kick. I think, frankly, they took it from the right place, I thought, I've got to be honest. Bit fiddly, but Wrexham again don't mind. We're back in position now. Dobson could have got a booking for that because he knew exactly what he was doing, but it was a good foul, basically.
Yeah, he's already on one, I think, from that Wickham game. I think we might see a few more towards through this season. Yeah, but I know his opposite number today. I think it's Thomason. I think he got 22 yellow cards last season, so that's quite a stat. Yeah.
That's in the box. A mistake by O'Connell. He's brought his man down. A free kick on the left side of the box could well be a yellow as well. Yeah, he turned into trouble. Lunged to try and get the ball back. Took his man down. And it's not a yellow. He didn't give him one, did he? No. But he's very lucky there. Go long, full stretch and take someone out like that.
Yeah, he didn't get any of the ball. I thought it was a definite yellow. Bolton really attacking there as well. I think they had men over too, so really dangerous area to make the tackle. Luckily it's just outside the box, but I'm surprised the ref hasn't booked him for that.
So this is a really dangerous free kick. It's about 10 yards out from goal, just outside the box on the left wing. Reven and Lee are a two-man wall. Okonkwo squatting, getting it precisely right. But because it's in such an awkward position, the Wrexham defensive line is in the 6-yard box. So Bolton can put this into a very dangerous area here without fear of offside. It's the fact that the wall is where it is that means Bolton can do that. Or Johnston rather, is saying just stick it at me on the near post. It's drilled in, a good save by Okonkwo. Good strike by Sheehan on his right foot. Okonkwo had to be sharp, didn't he?
Yeah, like you say, Mark, such a dangerous area. We've already seen them from, a couple of corners where they've looked dangerous as well, and that was, a bit closer inside on the pitch, and he just whips it. I think you can put it anywhere really in that box, and it was dangerous just with how many bodies are in there. All you need is a little nick for it to go in the back of the net. But another corner here for Bolton.
They decide threatening, in swing it to the near post again. Ref seen a foul. Wrexham are relieved. So Okonkwo already busy. And Wrexham, well, we've had some little threatening moments going forwards, but we've yet to really cause any issues in the Bolton half, or certainly work the keeper. And Baxter's one of the best keepers at this level as well.
Yeah, I think sorry to interrupt, Mark.
No,
I think Baxter's one of the reasons why they ended up with 3 points last week. I think a lot of the fans I've seen saying they weren't fully at their best, and in the end, I think he really kept them in it. Probably rescuing 2, if not 3.
Oh, it's neat passing by Bolton midfielders. To be fair, Wrexham have got their shape back pretty quickly. They found space on the left though now, and here's a threat. Schön is bursting outside. McAtee finds him, but quick return pass maybe wasn't the best, and Wrexham can force the ball partly out, but Johnston on the left now has got an option inside him, but Reven is really snapping away at his heels. He gets it out to McAtee in the end though, and McAtee turns and applauds Johnston for being able to keep possession like that. They've shifted quickly now to the right-hand side. Dacres Cogley into the middle of the pitch. A pass back to Santos is a bit sloppy from Thomason though, and he has to go back to his keeper as Marriott threatened to intercept. It's breathless, this. Bolton are a good side, and they're putting on good pressure. 18th minute, still 0-0. There's a run over the top, but it isn't played in by Teal. Wasn't the worst idea by McAtee, just dropping wide and then spinning back round. And so now we have Bolton in midfield once more, probing. Johnston again, very comfortable, stepping up, joining in midfield. Sheehan gets a return pass. That was good hold-up play, that by Collins. He's gone wide now and doesn't receive because O'Connor was very sharp to snap in and make a challenge. But yeah, the throw-in goes Bolton's way. McLean let it go out. I thought it came off O'Connor, I've got to say. It did. It's a great challenge by O'Connor. Did really well to nip in, but McLean just walked her off the pitch. And now Bolton have to throw. Dacres Cogley throws to the corner of the pitch. And Collins is skipping around. That's good work by Dobson, who goes to ground and in the end puts it out for the throw. Collins is looking to win a corner. Dacres Cogley now with a throw right by the corner flag. It's got Collins on the edge of the box. Charles looking to, well, actually he's having a chat with him at the moment rather than feed off him. As they do that, the throw-in's taken. Was that a little distraction tactic? Anyway, it's wasted by Bolton, but then Palmer tries a back heel and gives it to Thomason, 25 yards out. He spreads it. There's acres of space for Johnston. But Wrexham get across quickly. The ball didn't have much zip on it. And as a result, Wrexham got their shape back. Still Bolton pushing and probing. The ball's fed backwards, an attempt to feed it in. It's intercepted out by Dobson, but it comes in again. Important foot in, this time by Lee. And now Cannon feeds it down the right. Marriott has to wait for the ball to come down, and he can't quite take it cleanly. He's unlucky there. Good recovery that by Johnston to get the ball back off him.
Yeah, he does well there, Johnston. It just looked for a second like Marriott was in with his pace in behind. I think Cannon maybe just loops the ball a bit too much when he, if you're in that position, for me, I think you just got to sort of hit that corner flag in a way and just send Marriott on his bike. But yeah, Johnston does well to recover. Yeah, just a bit too much of a scoop, wasn't it, really? He's an awkward take for Marriott. Now, here's Bolton building up from the halfway line. They've dominated possession. There's no two ways about that. Wrexham are digging deep. On Ask Wrexham, Janie Lightning wants to know, is that our drummer Manny in the crowd or someone from Bolton? Sure is loud. I think it's Bolton, because I've heard it beating to their rhythm, but both lots of fans are making a lot of noise.
as that's a good tackle by Thomason, and he lofts a great ball down the right as well. McLean's done really well to get there ahead of him, but then he loses balance, and Collins has it back as he cuts inside. He can square it. In fact, he feeds it in. That's a clever idea. A delayed run into the box, and he saw it, he waited for it, and didn't quite find it. Dobson puts the ball out of play, and the pressure continues, and we need to get a foot on the ball and back ourselves to pass our way out when we win it back. Dacres Cogley will take the throw. He's got Collins moving to the corner flag. He receives it, McAtee rather, swings it in. Headed away by O'Connell, and then McLean with a well-connected volley, knocks it long. Marriott is clearly being obstructed by Santos off the ball. Referee points at them both, but gives nothing. And Bolton have it once more. Teal, little short ball down line. Sheehan tries to burst past Dobson, who reads him and tackles. Throw to Bolton just inside the Wrexham half, right-hand side.
Yeah, Almeida Santos definitely had, half of Jack Marriott's shirt. He was definitely had a grip of him, but I think Jack Marriott equally had a bit of him as well, so a bit of a 50-50, but one to keep an eye on them too. Yeah.
The issue for me was after that, like I said, I think they both had hold of each other. I think referees are always likely to just ignore it, which I understand. But then when the ball, Santos worked it back to a deeper defender, he then ran away from the ball to keep blocking Marius off as he tried to make a challenge. And the referee saw it and they said, oh, no, rather than actually act on it. Of course, I'm biased, any tiny touch on a Wrexham player.
Yeah,
it's a foul.
Bit of dark arts defending, I think.
Exactly. The thing is, you're not supposed to let the ref see it. Anyway, unlucky that by O'Connor as he tries to feed it forwards, doesn't quite find his targets, and Wrexham, after a brief spell of passive possession, need to get back into their defensive block once more.
Yeah, we've just let Bolton come into it, last 10-15 minutes or so, but no, I think Phil Parkinson will be happy with how we've set up defensively.
Yeah.
I think if we can just get that confidence when we're playing out from the back, just a bit like there, it's just sort of a bit panicked. I think, to be fair, it comes from the Bolton press, that sort of trio, particularly McAtee, Collins and Charles, their rotations and their press on our defence, it is very good.
We're finding it hard to get out, aren't we? As here we are now, O'Connor wins the ball well, but he's done well to squeeze it to McLean. Has he won a throw-in? I think he has, yes. Cogley, I like that. I mean, Dacres Cogley looks astounded that the three throw-ins gone against him, but he chased like hell to try and keep her in, which rather implies he knew he came off him last. But yeah, I know this is very different, but it reminds me a bit of those games around Christmas and January where we struggled away from home. Dobson's played a lovely ball there. Wait a second, Cannon through the middle has Reven to his right. Other players coming up in support to his left. He rather walks it to Reven, but then a burst of pace. He tries to get past Shearn, and Shearn has done really well to get between man and ball and run it behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, it's a pacey right side it is for us, left side for Bolton out there. Sean does really well actually to get back in, and Reven actually gets a touch round him in the end, but just can't quite get to it. He puts his body in really well, Sean, and just blocks him off completely.
Short goal kick. Sheehan pops it back, and Bolton work their way out. Johnston onto the left-hand side. It's a sloppy pass by Shearn that time though, and Wrexham have it. Switched across towards Lee by Dobson, just under hit it. And now here's Sheehan. That's a good ball. Nice first time layoff by Collins. There's an option to the right, but O'Connor gets a good tackle. 2 good tackles in. That's great work by him. And then Dobson looks to calm it up and plays a hospital ball. But the Wrexham side of the hospital ball is McLean. So Wrexham get it back fine. Robust tackle that was on McAtee. And now is Palmer challenging in the air. Beaten to it by Johnston. Cannon nudges into Sheehan. Free kick in midfield. It's 100 miles an hour, isn't it?
Yeah, the fans love that one from, both of them from Tom O'Connor. Just absolutely, gets his body in for the first one and then really gets stuck in on the second. Proper tackle, I think it's described as best.
Yeah, the land of the 50-50s it was the last minute or two. Here comes Tall now into midfield. Nice little ball round the corner. McAtee with the give and go, but that's closed by O'Connell. Lee loses possession but tackles back well. Lovely feet again by Dobson. McLean lays it back to O'Connor, who lifts over the top and gives it away. Toll pops it down into midfield. Here's Thomason again. What an energetic player Thomason is. as Bolton switch from right to left. Little half turn, but it's read well by Cleworth, who feeds Cannon. Reven hasn't kept up a play this time, but Cannon's played it down right for Palmer, and he's fouled, is he, in the corner of the box? Yeah. Free kick in a dangerous position. The Bolton fans and players protest, but Santos definitely body checked him. It looked pretty cut and dried from here.
Yeah, Palmer did really well. His top striker play, he just gets his body in front of him. So, he sort of makes that decision for Almeida Santos. I think Almeida Santos is already trying to go put his body in and make that challenge, but Palmer gets in there first and just sort of makes the referee's mind up for him, goes down, and it's a definite foul for me.
Absolutely, it's in a dangerous position, this. Bolton holding a line on the penalty spot. O'Connor and Lee are over there. Just looking at Dobson outside the box. I thought he was limping down for a moment, but it's probably just me being paranoid. If you haven't noticed from the season's commentary so far, I love George Dobson. He's wonderful.
He is wonderful. I'll second that.
Nice one. All right, here's this free kick. Wrexham fans making great noise. Lee signals. Referee still looking at the defensive line, checking for anyone pushing each other around. He's taken a long time over at the ref, despite the fact his name is Speedy, ironically. O'Connor sweeps it in low, hits the first defender, corner. But it's nice for Wrexham, as O'Connor gives an early signal to the players in the box, for us to actually be putting a bit of pressure on them and being able to relax.
Yeah, a bit disappointing, obviously, just hitting the first man. We've done that a few times now as he takes the corner quickly, short to Cannon.
Oh, under-hit return ball is hit very deliberately off O'Connor. And that was such a shame. Is this pitch playing a bit slow? There have been a few little passes where, the ball hasn't quite carried quickly. Or am I just making an excuse for O'Connor?
Yeah, maybe. No, to be fair, there has been a few, but it's sort of one of them. I feel like at times we've made the wrong decision with the pass, just maybe under-hitting it a bit, but also over-hitting it at times. So, but yeah, I mean, if we can blame the pitch, we will do that instead. So.
Yeah, exactly. Phil Parkinson looks on with his hands in his pockets. Of course, he was manager here, got them promoted, and they were also relegated when he was here, so he had a bit of everything. I was trying to probe the feeling of talking to a few Bolton press about Parkinson, how is he beloved or not, and it didn't really say much at all, to be honest. I didn't get much out of him. As Cannon tries to make a challenge in midfield, and Sheehan gets in bravely and is kicked. It's a free kick in midfield to Bolton. Thomason squares it. Some of the crowd were angry because the ball was really hurled back to Thomason, but it was by McAtee, so it looked like the sort of thing, when an opponent angrily throws the ball at you. That's a nice move on the right, and Thomason, what a tackle by Dobson. I thought he'd beaten Dobson, but he's won it off him, found Palmer with a good ball down to the halfway line, and then Wrexham draw a free kick. Lee stepped in well. And Ian Everts, the Bolton manager, is disagreeing, but that's a decision.
Yeah, just that Dobson tackle there, it just sort of looked like he's flying in. He sprinted back really well. It just looks like he's just going to fly in and sort of make a slide tackle, giving the Bolton player the option to sort of cut inside, but just stays composed, calm, and makes a brilliant tackle just on his feet.
Long ball on the diagonal, and Palmer's done really well to win it. Didn't win the initial ball, but kept chasing the loose ball, and now Wrexham have it in the Bolton half. O'Connor, that's an ambitious and inaccurate pass. He was hoping Palmer would make a run down the channel. He didn't. Poor clearance straight back to O'Connor, though, and he tries the same thing again. Now Marriott again being blocked by Santos. You got to be a brave ref to give that, but nonetheless, it's clear that Santos, despite the fact he's got a decent amount of pace, has decided that he needs to block Marriott off rather than have a sprint with him.
Yeah, to be fair, there wasn't much in that one as there was earlier on. But I think, again, O'Connor's just looking for that ball inside. I think that time maybe Jack Marriott hasn't seen it as quickly as, Tom Connors played it. So isn't, quite on his toes. But, again, there's the space there to get at. So, we can definitely look at pursuing that going forward into this game.
Absolutely. The Sheehan misplaces a pass, leaded well to intercept it. O'Connor to McLean, driving through the middle. His first touch wasn't the best, but it's later off to Dobson. He finds Cannon, who's popping up in those nice little pockets on the right-hand side. He goes backwards on this occasion. O'Connell takes a little bit of a chance, sidestepping Charles. but he wins a foul. Rolled to Dobson. Lee wants space again in that little pocket, this time on the left. Those, Cannon and Lee are just popping up and finding some nice spaces. And O'Connell's picked out Lee nicely. He turns. Santos is drawn out from the back as Lee works it wide to the right to Cannon. Cannon on to Reven then. He's put under pressure straight away though. They're getting tight on Reven. Has he won a throw? No, it goes Bolton's way. Yeah, they're getting tight on him, so he hasn't got a chance to turn and run at them, aren't they?
No, but like you say, Mark, that space for, it's either Elliot Lee or Andy Cannon. It's just when Dobson and either, other side of the midfield, they sit back, and the two midfield for Bolton, they sit with them, and then it leaves the Bolton defence just with a big problem, because their sort of three are sort of focusing on Palmer and Marriott. So Elliot Lee or Andy Cannon, vice versa, they just end up in acres of space, and they can sort of take the ball in and turn. So we need to try and, take advantage of that as much as we can.
Yeah, it's a way forwards, isn't it? Once we can actually get comfortable possession, as Okonkwo knocks it wide, and Marius versus Santos is a bit of a mismatch. It's a short pass to Thomason, and Cannon hassles and wins it back. Good work. Marriott finds Palmer, and then Marriott takes over again. Again, the ball just seems to stick under his feet. He squeezes it across to Lee in a central position, and quickly on to McLean. Cutting in from the flank. Lee now on the left. Works it back into midfield. Dobson has a little bit of space to come forwards. Little reverse ball. Finds Lee. Patient this. O'Connor, nice ball down the line. McLean hits the goal line and wins another corner. That's much more like it. Last 5-10 minutes or so, we've started to get a bit of control back.
Yeah, just looked sharper and a bit more patient on the ball in possession. I just thought we looked, positive still though as well. Not just keeping the ball for the sake of keeping the ball, which I think at times you need to do when you come away from home. But they're just positive again. Good movement from the midfield as well. And James McLean, unlucky in the end to not get the cross into the box.
Lee with the in-swinger then. Wrexham with a man on the goalie. As it's swung beyond to the far post, looking for O'Connor, nods it down nicely. Driven shot is blocked. Well, that was a big chance. Wrexham come forwards again. But that was a big moment there for Wrexham. As McLean works it wide, Lee on the left flank. Looking for space, has to go back to the halfway line. Dinked over the top by Dobson. He finds Marriott, lovely touch and turn. Toll stuck with him, but now McLean's got it on the flank. Squares it. Lee just had to stretch for that. It's a shame because Dobson made like this little run beyond him, but Lee couldn't find him. He was too busy trying to control the ball. Here's Dobson now, turning well again. Finds Cannon 25 yards out. Lovely little Zidane turn, and he nearly puts Lee one-on-one with the keeper. Great spell by Wrexham, but now there's a breakaway. Bolton carrying it forwards. McAtee has to slow down because fair play. Cannon worked really hard to get back and join O'Connor and McLean in pressuring McAtee. But
yeah, this is just a really good spell then for Wrexham. I think obviously Bolton on it now, but I think it was Tom O'Connor from that corner just coming out from it just forced him from the Bolton clearance, or it might have been from the Max Cloworth header actually, from that initial header. And it just forced him really nicely, and I think he just goes for power in the end, just tries to smash it into the back of the net, but I just think too many Bolton bodies racing out and managed to get the block in. Yeah,
that's right. It was Cleworth nodding it back, wasn't it, from beyond the far post. It was interesting because we play those corners a lot in beyond the far post, but usually it's a player backpedaling, whereas Cleworth made the run from the edge of the box and then veered out, won the header. And yeah, I mean, like I said, just a crowded goal mouth. If that had got through or got a nick, it would have been a goal. But Wrexham will be pleased with that last 5 minutes or so. Here's a free kick in midfield for Bolton. They've sent the centre-backs up. And Santos, of course, is a heck of a unit. It's played short by Sheehan. Sheehan floats it in the far post, but didn't pick anyone out. In fact, Palmer's got enough time to bring it down his chest in his own penalty area and look for Marriott. It wasn't the worst ball. If Marriott was as tall as Palmer, he'd probably have taken it on his chest, but it flew over his head for a throw instead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you want it to be the other way round in that sort of scenario. I think he's got a bit more time there, Palmer. No Bolton players seemed to be pressing him when he was in his own box, and Wrexham players are just flying out, trying to push out. So I think he had a bit more time to maybe make the pass out wide instead of going long.
Throw in taken by Bolton. Immediate pressure put on Dacres Cogley by Dobson, and the ball has to go back to the keeper. And the ball now with Johnston slotting it accurately into the middle. Sheehan runs into trouble. Ref's not interested when he hits the deck, and to be fair, I don't think Sheehan asked for a free kick. Well, has he tripped Cannon there? Yes, he has. And Free kick goes Wrexham's way in midfield, right hand side. It's one of those that, you know, Sheehan's body is masking the contact for us, and I just wonder for a second if he did think he should have had a free kick and had gone after Cannon, in which case the ref might act, but no, it's just a free kick. Lewis stands it up looking for Palmer, who nods it onto the edge of the area just behind Marriott though, and Johnston heads it clear. Well won in the air by Collins, who wants a return pass. Instead it goes wide. Dakers Cogley. Oh, it's lovely footwork, just nicks it inside. Thomason to Dakers Cogley. Nice footwork again, just to make sure the ball doesn't get stuck under his feet then. And Bolton switch it to the left hand side. Here in midfield now is Sheehan. Wrexham good shape, forcing Bolton to work hard to find a way through. Wrexham has certainly improved in the last 10 minutes, both with and without the ball. Oh, there's a threaded ball for Thomason. Charles now in the box. O'Connor's done really well to make the tackle. Bolton are asking for handball, saying he fell on the ball with his hand. Referee says throw into Wrexham.
No, it's the other way to us as well. Again, we can only see O'Connell's back, so I'm not too sure. You know, it's one of those when you fall down in that sort of area, it's quite easy for the ball to just sort of catch your arm or somewhere around that area. So I can sort of understand why Bolton fans would appeal for it, because it's one of those. Sometimes the ref will give them if it has indeed, you know, sort of got a nick off him. But he actually does really well, I think, in the end to get it away.
Well, the Wrexham fans are in great fun with this. They're just shouting handball every time a player touches the ball now. As McLean on the left-hand side, put under pressure by McAtee. Goes back to O'Connor. He has to get rid of that quickly. Under pressure from the frustrated Collins. The Wrexham fans still going with that. O'Connor gets rid of it. Toll heads it back in. The Wrexham fans still going. McLean heads it away. His head tennis does till Palmer does brilliantly under pressure to hold it up. Lee over the top. Marriott's offside. Linesman puts his flag up this time. That's for me, like you say, the players have shielded our view of it. But if his hand's gone down and then touched the ball, it's not really supposed to be a handball if your foot's hand on the ground anyway. So probably a hopeful one. It certainly wouldn't be a deliberate one. There was no way it was dropping to a Bolton player. It was a good piece of work by O'Connor. As Dakers Cogley has it now on the right side, taking on McLean, 10 yards out, goes down the outside. McLean does well to stretch and deflects it. It goes up in the air, and O'Connor manages to win the header and then gets it back and clears it down the flank. He won't find Marriott. Throwing to Bolton. They take it quickly. 7 minutes of the half left. Wrexham have had to work really hard, but there's no score here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. I'm surprised I haven't said Tough Sheet more. I like it. What a name that is. Bolton now building patiently to the right. Sheehan stands her up into the box. Okonkwo though will take that comfortably. He hasn't got many early options though, so he'll hold on to it. Yeah, the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. When Wrexham went to Cheltenham, their press people were very insistent that we all called their ground the World of Smile Stadium. We mustn't think of something else. Okonkwo, took a bit of a risk there. Lets Charles get very close to him, and he charged down his kick and spins out for a throw-in. I've never been to the stadium. I've been to the old Burnden Park, which is a proper old ground, and by the time I went there as a kid, it was a mess. One stand was a supermarket's wall, and the seat I had a pillar genuinely right in front of me, and I had to hold on to the pillar and go either side to watch the game. It was an experience. Wrexham just didn't turn up that day. But it was in the Championship, which is a nice thought, isn't it? Here's Bolton coming forwards into midfield. McAtee surrounded by opponents. He trod on the ball, did he? Anyway, it's fallen kindly for Bolton. Cross comes in, good header by O'Connell. Palmer helps it on. Marriott will try and hold it up. Santos bundles him to the floor. No foul given. And it's a ball in by Thomason just overhead as Shearn made a nice little run out to end to try and get on the end of something. And Okonkwo takes it comfortably.
Yeah, just again, Marriott can't quite hold it up. It looks for a second. He's chested it down really well, but just gets out-muscled by Almeida Santos.
Palmer flicks on the long kick by Okonkwo. Santos clears. Ball being protected well on the halfway line by Collins, who lays it back. He gets a free kick as well. Regular Ask Wrexham correspondent, I agree. This is frantic, barely being able to breathe. Yeah, me neither. I've done all the first half on one breath so far. Here's Santos now in midfield. He was in the PFA League Team of the Season 3 years in a row, Santos. Real consistent performer for them. Big diagonal is much too big from Thomason. Goes behind for the goal kick. But yeah, Santos, he's a proper leader, proper warrior, sort of bloke you'd love to have in the heart of your defence. He battles for everything, and he's a proper unit as well. If you want to move a fridge, he's your man. Any if you were looking for white goods moval tips, there you have it.
Yeah, he's looked really, really good this first half. Just really strong, proper. What you love to see in a centre half, especially in this league. That's what you need really. Power, strength, and obviously their captain as well. So I'm sure he is a top leader.
Palmer wins a good header against Thompson, but Wrexham can't win the second ball. The Bolton are making a hash of getting rid of it, and Baxter has to grab hold of it right on the edge of his box under pressure from Elliot Lee. Marius asks for a handball, saying he's outside the box. He was close to it, but he wasn't. And the Wrexham fans have more handball fun. Here's Thompson, who is so good and comfortable with the balls at his feet, stepping out from the back. I mean, has been notable on occasions that he, well, in particular, and Santos are quite happy to become midfielders and to step in when they've got the outnumber at the back. Toll, on the other hand, doesn't so much, and that's why, as he plays a ball forwards straight to Okonkwo. It's about the third time Toll's done something like that. It doesn't quite seem to fit in with the philosophy of ball-playing centre-backs of the other two. Okonkwo knocks it long through the middle, but it's Marius against Santos again. That's a mismatch. Ball drops loose, but Wrexham nearly latched onto it. Instead, though, it's a great ball by McAtee down the right. He's offside, is he? Ooh, it was a close call. He's given it. It looked tight to me, that.
Yeah, definitely tight. I'm not sure if he is off, like how much it's by in the end. It's a great ball from McAtee, I think it was, wasn't it? And no reason for him to be offside because the ball was so perfect. But yeah, again, just that threat they've got. Whether they play it, possession inside or go for that ball sort of over the top. They've got pace in there as well, Bolton. So a lot of strengths that we've contained really well so far in this game.
O'Connor from the free kick pinged it diagonally, and Palmer beat Johnston in the air again. He's getting some joy out of him. He's avoiding Santos. He's getting joy out of Johnston in the air. Bolton had to clear for a throw on the halfway line. We've got a minute plus added time left in this tense, frantic half. Throw down a line. Oh, a little trick by Marriott, flicking it over Santos. He goes to ground, doesn't get the free. Oh, he's got a corner. Well, that looked to me like anything but a corner. I thought it was a free kick or a goal kick, to be honest. Nice skill by Marriott to flick it over his man, though.
No, he does really well. You can sort of tell he's learning from him as the game goes on. He's obviously an experienced player, Jack Marriott. He's probably faced a lot of defenders bigger than himself over the years. And sort of, so far in the game, I think at times maybe we've hit it to him long too much. And he's not been able to outmuscle his opposite man. But there, he just does really well. Just, improvises a bit and just flicks it over him. And, beats him on the run round and does well to get a corner.
O'Connor delivers that corner to the far post. Santos rises well, and there's a free kick to Bolton as the ball was in the air. There's a lot of love for James McLean on Ask Wrexham as well. Christina de Bolton know that McLean eats booze for breakfast. And Barb says, the Philly girl in me makes me love absolutely everything about James McLean. Bolton booing just makes him stronger. Yeah, I do think I don't think it bothers him much, to be honest with you. The fascinating thing about McLean is how he picks up yellow cards like they're going out of fashion, but then doesn't get the second. As the referee adds no time on, surprisingly. And that's half time. Wrexham have gone toe-to-toe with a very strong Bolton side. Rodal look a little in the first 10 minutes. Marius is still complaining, I assume, about the non-free kick that wasn't given a minute or two ago. But yeah, Wrexham have done well and have come into the game more as it gone along. And the half-time score is Bolton Wanderers 0, Wrexham 0. And very satisfactory, I've got to say. Wrexham had the odd chance late on, particularly O'Connor's drive, which was charged down. And as a result, well, they've earned the right to go in level, and we'll now be looking at how they can build on that going forwards. As Mia has completed her tour of duty. Top work as always from Mia. And Andy Morrell has stepped into her place. What do you make of that, Andy? Oh,
what a game.
It's
good
funny.
Game. Yeah. Feisty. Crowd won't let you stop.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just such a brilliant atmosphere. Both sets of fans enjoying the day, but the football's been good as well. Real good. We're in a brilliant seat here, right up, way above the pitch, looking down on it, and you can see the patterns and the shapes that Bolton are trying to change and move the three about for Wrexham. And it's Bolton had the first 25 minutes. I felt they were strong, moved the ball, then Wrexham came into it and found a way to get out. They just couldn't simply get out. And I think now that Parky will be pleased that they've understood the system. They're playing three up top, really narrow, 3-4-3, really narrow, so they're three up against three of our centre halves, so we're very difficult to play out. But we've got the overload in midfield, and we never used it in that first 25 minutes. We never had the ball to be able to play and overload. But now in the last 15 minutes, we were able to get Cannon on it a bit more for me, and Elliot Lee on it a bit more, and we were able to then build our attacks a little bit better. So we've got to utilise that overload for me a little bit more.
Cannon and Lee were finding nice little bits of space in the pocket as the half went on, and were just able to be available as that out ball. And of course, Dobson's the ideal player to know they're there and hit them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what happens is because they have two midfielders in the centre of the pitch, we've got three. If Dobson goes to receive the ball off a centre half, one of those midfielders has to go, so the other one is free. So the quicker we can get it to that free midfielder and work that out, the better, because we've broken their front three line, the midfield one, and then hopefully we've got the overload then, and we've got McLean coming or Revan coming either side. They bit pretty much in possession in the first half an hour, the five up front. Do you know what I mean? The wing backs really high and wide, and they start in that position, so they pin all of our back five back, and then it's then dropping in to make the overloads in midfield with the two wider ones, Collins and McAtee, dropping in and playing, and cause sorts of problems. Their movement's very, very good. They're very sharp, and they try and get the ball back if they give it away as well, right near them in transition. So, listen, Bolton, very good team. They got close last year. Like we said at the start, they should have probably missed a good opportunity to get out of this league, but they've strengthened. They've gone a bit younger. I think they've got a little bit more pace about them. And so Wrexham have matched them. They've done very, very well, apart from the goalmouth scramble. There was a save early on for a Conquo. There wasn't really any decent shots, maybe set pieces again. They've just got to be wary of. But Wrexham have had their fair share of set pieces as well, and they'll be looking to maybe capitalise on one or two of them in the second half.
And it's good as well when a team that obviously is as good as Bolton are able to get on top of you, that Wrexham are able to be patient, not let their heads get down, dig in and earn their right to come back into it. It's encouraging as well in terms of, I think, spirit, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought this was going to be a really good barometer for where Wrexham are. They're definitely fit enough. They're loads fitter than they were at this part of the season last year. And they're going up against a really good team, so can they work it out? Yes, they're going to. Most of the time last season, Wrexham had the ball. They had possession of the ball and were able to dominate teams. This year's going to be a little bit different against some teams, and so they've got to be able to sit in that shape. They've got to work it out and then break from that shape, and I think that's something that they'll learn as they go on through the season.
I was starting to make a point to Mia, and because the game felt so frantic and non-stop, I didn't get a chance to make it properly, so I'm going to put it to you that the issue at the start of not being able to play out from the back, I know it's a completely different style of football we're up against, but it reminded me of the problems we had like around and after Christmas going to places like Accrington and Salford, where they were so in your face that you just felt we weren't looking to pass our way through that. We were just getting rid of it, asking the centre forwards to win hoofed balls.
50-50s, yeah.
And it felt a little bit like that, and it was pleasing for me to say that we could find a solution to it. I mean, having a player like Dobson has got to help in that situation, but
That's right. You've got to be brave, and you've got to trust the players that they're playing. And we've got O'Connell in the middle, who's a ball player. We've got Max, who's really good on the ball, and we've certainly got Tom O'Connor, who can play because he's a centre midfielder, really. And so I think you've got to trust them. They've got to be a little bit snappier, I think, with their passes, because if you roll it to each other slowly, it gives a chance for the striker to get there. But if you snap your passes across the pitch, that just takes the player out of the game. And that will then create that space for Dobson to be able to get on the ball. And he is one that would never shy away from getting on the ball. You can see it every time he gets it, he's looking to move it really quickly. He's been a delight for me to watch. The first 2 games I've just really enjoyed, even his cameo at Sheffield United. I thought he came on and made us a little bit more with energy and just pure brains of getting on the ball and just trusting himself to play and move the ball. And so with players like that, that will then hopefully will encourage Lee, Cannons, Rathbones to then go and pick the pockets and find the spaces, and then you are able to play out and not just hoof it. Yeah, we have got Ollie, and Ollie, I think today has worked it out as well. Don't go near Santos. Yeah, he's quite useful in the air, like Suter was on Tuesday. Don't go and stand on him. Go and stand on the other one. And so he's gone out on the left-hand side on Johnston, and he's had a little bit more joy. So now we need to get Marriott right in the middle with Santos, and if we do play that dag, he's loads closer to Palmer than he has been in this first half.
My other thought in the half, and it links to what you were saying about knocking it around the back, is the pitch a bit slow, or am I imagining it?
I don't know. I just think that when you don't want to make a mistake, so you don't want to really rip a pass into your other centre half because he's got to trust his touch, but I still think you've got to put a bit on it to take that striker out and don't give him an opportunity like we had at the bottom corner here, where Charles ran and blocked a clearance from Tom O'Connor. It's just the ball is too slow into him. So maybe, but they've got the water on it at half time. I'm sure it'll be slick in this second half. And I think Wrexham will be looking to do a bit more of the same and just be a little bit more proactive maybe at the top end of the pitch.
Well, they're watering one half of the pitch so they don't make mistakes at the back.
That's
when
right,
we try and pass it out, they're not watering that half of the pitch. So maybe it's just a technical problem.
Yeah, well, speaking to Charlie actually last week, he is the same. He takes an hour to water the whole pitch because of the sprinkler system and the way that it's set up. Maybe this is sort of something similar. I think it's, the Etihad. It takes 10 minutes to water the whole thing because they're up to money. They've got coming out their ears. But it was something on the cards for Wrexham to do over the summer, and it's just been pushed back to the next season, I think.
Changing the subject totally. Tell us about your bike ride. I've been intending to ask you about this.
Right.
And I think that here's our opportunity.
How long have you got?
Well,
yeah, so,
till the teams come out.
So I'm 50 next month, and around Christmas time, I thought I would like to do something, maybe some sort of challenge to just look forward to work towards. And one of my friends was doing this rabble ride across Britain, which is an organised ride from Land's End to John O'Groats, 940 miles, 1,600 kilometres-ish. And I said, I fancy that, over 9 days. So that's over 100 miles a day, 160 miles a day, 60 kilometres a day, sorry. And so I signed up thinking, yeah, that'd be good, I'll work towards that. And then ever more approach as if every month drops off and you're trying to get out on your bike, but I've also got work, I've got to put a roof over their head, so I'm coaching and stuff. So I have been able to get out on a couple of longer rides and try and get my fitness up and get used to the saddle for a long time, which is a sore one. But my godson, Jack, has got Prader-Willi syndrome, a condition that's a genetic condition, and I'm trying to raise money for them. I've seen the PWSA. They do great work in the supporting friends and family of kids that have got this condition, and I just wanted to help them and do what I could, and it's gone well so far sponsorship wise. I've got another 3 weeks to try and annoy people a little bit more with it and try and raise as much as I can, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really difficult. There's like 800 people doing it at the same time, so it's a good old unit of a ride and you're well looked after, but you've still got to push those pedals around a long way and get up the country. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm going to keep people updated on their socials if I can. Unfortunately, I miss a couple of games here, but fingers crossed I finish on the Sunday before the Birmingham game on the Monday night, and so hopefully I'm going to be at that one. I might not be in any state to get to the commentary position, but hopefully I'll be back in time for that.
You can have a nice sleep. Don't worry, it'll be all right. Mia and I will handle it.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's absolutely fantastic. We'll have to put up on we'll ask Wrexham and everything the links for
that'd
the
be brilliant
charity,
if you could. Yes. Chris Malaban, before one of the games on the YouTube, they gave me an opportunity to speak and stuff. So Andy.Morrell01 on Instagram, Andy Morrell01 on my Twitter feed. It's all pinned on there at the moment. So if anybody has anything that they could donate, anything helps, and I'd really, really, really appreciate it.
That is fantastic. Fair play. No surprise. You're a good bloke.
Thank you.
When I turned 50, what I did was crisps, basically.
I might go that way afterwards.
But that is an absolutely outstanding thing to do. It really is. So well done. And remember, some of it's got to be downhill.
At some point, you would hope.
Some of it.
Yeah. It is Land's End going up the country, which is in my head. It's all uphill. But but it is prevailing wind, evidently. So I'm hoping it's going to be wind behind. Yeah.
Oh,
so I've done So I rode to Wrexham last week, 105 miles, and then rode back on the Sunday. That was interesting, to say the least. But I have got a few miles in the tank, and been out this morning for 30 miles in the hills up in the Ribble Valley, which is very, very beautiful. So I am trying to just do my bit to just tick over till we get to that fateful Saturday, the 7th.
You'll be good. Just remember, taper. No one knows what it means.
Cream. That's what I've been advised by everybody that's been
Absolutely,
on it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, despite my stature now, I've put plenty of miles in on the road bike in my time.
Right.
And I would just say, woof, well done.
Thank you. Yes.
My longest rides was, this is totally irrelevant. I don't know why the hell I'm talking about this now. I went on holiday at Lake Garda, and my wife and my son wanted to go on the lake. I swim like a breeze block. So I thought, I'll rent a bike and I'll go for a day's ride.
Bike round.
Yeah, it was a lovely idea, but they didn't have any road bikes in Italy. What's going on? They gave me a mountain bike, and I rode for the whole day. Came back and I'd lost the feelings in my little fingers simply because there was nowhere else to put my hands.
On the nerves, of the house. And
I was just in the same position. Oh God! And there was the most spectacular thunderstorm came off the Alps.
Nice.
It was brilliant. The water was about 2-3 inches deep in places on the road. And when I came back,
good to have a mountain bike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy who rented it was standing outside looking for me, worried. Okay. And he was like, you came back through this, and I was able to. You said you should see what it's like in Wales. This is just normal.
That's it every day. Yeah. Well, we did Lake Garda about 2 months ago with my cycle group. It is an amazing place, beautiful. Had a bit of sunshine, thankfully, and we biked around the full lake, 80 miles or whatever. Yeah. So beautiful.
That was a bit more lumpy than I was attempting, I promise you. I see myself as a sort of a monument strong man rather than a mountain goat, to be honest with you.
Anything you can do, anything you do is a bonus.
Well, I used to think that. Now I'm a Devon descender because I got momentum on my side, haven't I?
That's right.
You've not lived till you've descended in the dark in the pouring rain from Bolton. Then you've never felt more alive. Well, Arthur Okonkwo's out early. Oh, the whole Wrexham team, beg your pardon, are out early. They have switched the sprinklers on in that half now, to be fair.
They have, yeah.
And here come Bolton. Well, it was a gripping, fascinating first half. What will the second half have in store for us?
Yeah, it's two different tunnels here.
Yeah,
so
home
team come out of a different tunnel to the away team, which doesn't happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Something interesting.
Can't throw pizza at people or whatever.
Correct.
Or it kicks off yesterday in one of the tunnels as well. Can't remember which game it was, a match of the day. But I can remember, of course, it was Brereton Diaz getting a Shah sent off at Newcastle, and that carried on for a while afterwards. Well, this game is it's been extremely tense and tight. Hasn't been any of that yet. I've got to admit, when people say, what a bad example when players start fighting. Bad example for any kids watching them. Oh, it's bad for the name of football. It's not. It's brilliant when there's a bunch of them, isn't it?
Well, it's just, as long as it's not too far, taken too far.
Yeah,
it's normally handbags, isn't it?
True. So Wrexham restart, kicking towards their fans. Cleworth standing it long for Palmer, bounces beyond, and Marius alert, but Santos is massive, so he gets the ball clear. Up to the halfway line, Cleworth puts pressure on, and then good work in Lee just to turn in, and in that, doing so, nudge Thomason off the ball, and Wrexham have got control of the ball now on the halfway line. It's Dobson feeding it on to O'Connell as Wrexham shift from left to right. The run over the top from Lee. O'Connell has seen it and he's picked him out as well. Nods it down cutely. Marriott hits it. Great save by Baxter. Well, that's the best effort of the match by either team.
Well, that's the first time Lee's got past the front two, or one of the midfielders has got past and asked a question of the centre halves. It's Toll that's missed him. Great ball by O'Connell. Good header back. Unfortunately on Marriott's weaker foot, but it's a good one into the bottom corner, and it's a good save by Baxter.
It certainly was. Here's the corner now. Swept in to the far post. Cleworth gets up. Can't quite get on top of it. His header goes over the bar. Great front foot start by Wrexham though.
Yeah, he's like a magnet now, isn't he, Cleworth? You know, it's amazing how you can go so long without scoring a goal. And that one goal, it just gives you the belief that it's going to fall to you. The ball can come to you in that box. And then he scores last week. And then he's on his first contact on that one.
Santos hits it long from a short goal kick. Backpedaling, O'Connor can't get much distance on his head, and McAtee plays in Charles. Sight of goal, drills it. Okonkwo saves low to his left. Doesn't think Charles quite got hold of that one, and then he almost could have deceived Okonkwo as he went down anticipating a better finish.
Well, fortunately, again, it's on his weaker side, but the long ball over the top for O'Connor, I think he could just head it back to the keeper, but instead he gets it a little bit wrong. He needs a little bit of information maybe from O'Connell to help him out. But then he just heads it back to Okonkwo, but he doesn't, which drops into McAtee's lap, really, and a great little slide ball through to Charles. And again, he did score one of those last weekend. Good finish across the keeper, but this time he just gets it a little bit wrong and he can't get any power on it, and it's straight at Okonkwo. 2 chances early doors.
Throw in, which Reven will take now, about 30 yards out from the Bolton half. Cannon's been offering, so is Marius. He throws it down a line instead. Easy header clear for Schön. Cannon nods it back to the edge of the box, so Palmer tries to flick it inside Johnston, who just about sticks to his task, and the ball ricochets to Schön. Cleworth nods it back up towards Reven, who fouls Schön as he jumps to head that ball clear. It'll be Johnston then. Like I said, Tuesday was his first game in a year. He looks good playing left side of the centre-back and really steps into midfield with comfort.
Yeah, well, it's part of their plan, isn't it? Because they are outnumbered in there, they have to have a bit of bravery from the centre-halves to go and step in and make that 3v3 in there.
Cleworth loses the ball in midfield. Bolton look to switch. Here is Johnson now with the chance to stride forwards. Schön's made a run ahead of him and he uses him. Schön has to go back to Johnston. But again, Johnson's happy, just exchange passes under pressure, works it to Schön, nice layoff, and he goes for the return ball down the flank, testing Reven's pace. Reven's got back brilliantly. I think that might be a goal kick, you know, no corner given. Reven's furious.
Yeah,
it was a great recovery.
I thought the same as well. It looked like he'd got his foot around it. Really nice play by Schön, little 1-2, played into the space, good race. It's been a good battle between those two for the first half. They've been giving each other, one going forward, the other one recovering. We just got the better of him there, Schön, but great recovery tackle and out for a corner.
Yeah, if you want an illustration of the difference between playing in League 2 and League 1, you play against a team at the top of League 1. They've got a guy who plays in the European Championships 2020. Here comes the corner to the near post, and it's dealt with, cleared down for a throw level the edge of the area by Palmer. Yeah, Schön played 2 of Hungary's 3 group games as they nearly qualified through the group of death in the European Championships.
Well, I think it must be a reason why Reven has played that side, you know, because I don't think Barney's done anything wrong at all. But I think he's for that pace, purely just to match up.
Now here's a good break by Wrexham. Oh, Cannon is taken out by Santos, and he'll get booked for that. He's got to be. It was a great move.
Well, I could see that coming about 3 seconds before it actually happened, and I think Cannon gave a little look over his left-hand shoulder to say, right, I know that if I get a little touch, he's going to come through me. Does really well, Cannon. Put Santos on a yellow.
Yeah, Palmer did well to turn it around the corner. Marriott's hold-up play was brilliant. He had 3 defenders round him, held the ball off, played a good ball down the flank. Cannon burst down the wing, and yeah, one way or another, Cannon was not going to get beyond Santos's challenge. I think that's a fair way of putting it.
But that's twice now this second half. Cannon beyond, Lee beyond. I think that's something that they must have spoke about. Don't be afraid to just go, because one of the midfielders has got to track you, which enables us to have a bigger overload, or one of the centre halves is going to have to move, and it just moves people around.
And there's another chance now to put a set piece into a dangerous area. The free kick about 10 yards out, right hand side, outside the box. Plenty of threat from set pieces. Could be that one will decide the game as O'Connor floats it in nicely in the goalmouth. There's a scramble and it's launched away in the end spectacularly by Sheehan. But that was a proper scramble from that free kick there, and it could have fallen to anybody.
Well, we get first contact on it at the near post. Man across the front of the man in the hole gets a little touch on it, which causes the problem. And it's a little scramble like the first half for Bolton. Just unable to fall to somebody to put it in the net.
Cannon's enjoying himself out there second half. Just made a great tackle to stop Sheehan in his tracks as he approached the halfway line. And
Ian Everett not happy with the referee for some reason, pointing and gesturing at him.
Well, Bolton forced into a bit of a long ball unnecessarily, but Dobson for once is inaccurate as he tries to play out from the back, throw into Bolton, taken quickly into midfield. Here's Thomason, and he feeds it on into the centre circle. Toll, to me, is by far the least confident of the 3 with the ball at his feet out of the centre backs, and he helps it on and goes back into position, as that's nice work though, just to tie things up, moving across the pitch. In the end, after that tidy piece of work by Dacres Cogley, he's shown a couple of times he's comfortable coming inside. Bolton on the halfway line once more. Johnston probing. Wrexham putting pressure on the ball well and have won it back. Cleworth got the foot in. Palmer with the early ball. He's looking for Marriott. It's not the worst idea, but the actual execution not great.
Well, I think it was the only pass on he had, but just go long, go bigger, as and if it goes through to keeper, fine. Just don't get any of your players, short is awful, because you've got players out of the game then.
And as a result of that, Bolton break away. McAtee cutting in for the right flank. It's worked back into midfield. Nice little turn by Thomason. Cross comes in. It's a poor one. Straight into the crowd. And Dacres Cogley's furious with himself.
Well, like you say, they're really comfortable on change of positions as well. Wing back comes into the pitch. McAtee will go out and stand and make it as wide, so that they're not all narrow. They're very, very good at rotation, something that they have been working on for a couple of years now, I think, under Ian Everett. Very, very good tactically. But they're all happy to play in centre mid. Like you've said about Johnson stepping in, they're all comfortable with the ball. It is good to watch. It's good football.
From the goal kick, Palmer beaten by Johnson this time. Lee can't quite nudge his man off balance, and the ball falls to McAtee, who gets in behind Dobson, works over to the left hand side. Collins as a player at the far post, he horribly overhits it, and Wrexham will be pleased to see again a lack of quality coming into the box.
Yeah, you expect a little bit better from Collins. I really like him. Athletic, tricky, can move the ball. Same with McAtee. Very, very tight areas, really good. And Charles down the middle, he gives you just effort and pure goals. He probably has only touched the ball maybe 5-6 times in this game so far, but he's had a couple of attempts on goal with that, and he's busy around out of possession.
Yeah, they've got proper creativity. They've got firepower as well. I mean, Adebayo's only on the bench, and he's scored double figures in each of his last 4 seasons. Yeah, they are. I think, like I was saying to Mia, I think they're the favourites to win it this year personally. But here they come again. Wrexham are doing okay, but Bolton just starting to get a bit of pressure. Sheehan is taking on Revan, corner of the box, pulls it back. It's squared inaccurately though by Collins. Bit of a hurried clearance by Palmer, hoping to find Marriott, who just dropped off to be an option.
I just think there's more pressure on Bolton to get out the league because of the situation that they had last year.
The attempted through ball to Collins is well handled by O'Connor. No, beg your pardon. Just running it back to Okonkwo, who saw the cue and came out and took it. Yeah, I just as a prejudice rather than anything else, I just think teams that spend big like Birmingham have to make sure they gel. And I watched their first game. Oh, here's Marius on the chase against Santos, who has to put out for a throw by the corner flag, and the Wrexham fans making noise again.
Well, that's what I spoke about with Palmer. Get Marriott across and in close connection with him so that if he does win it, which he has done probably over about 60% of the time this half, Marriott's around it to pick that second ball up or at least challenge for it.
Well, the throw has led to Wrexham getting possession in midfield. Just to go back to that Janie Lightning question and ask Wrexham, I think it is Manny on the drums now. I'm listening because it is in time with the Wrexham fans who are making terrific noise. O'Connor plays it down the line. I expected Lee to anticipate that, but he didn't. And now a little bit of space for Sheehan in midfield to turn and drive through midfield. He works it into the half space, gets it back from McAtee, and that's a decent ball, well taken by Thomas, and he feeds a good ball to the D. Charles hits it, great save by Okonkwo. Full stretch. He just seemed to hover in the air for a bit before clawing it round the post, but that's the quality of finishing Charles has got.
Yeah, really nice. Into him on the edge of the box. It's a nice little Cruyff turn to change direction swiftly. And I don't know if he catches it as fully as he would like, or if O'Connell just gets a slice of it to put it into the corner, but a great save. Good height for Okonkwo, but he makes it. Strong hand, pushes it round the post for a corner.
So Bolton with another corner. They've been threatening from these. Interesting to see Okonkwo's got quite a high starting position as the ball sweats at 6-yard box, headed away partly to the edge of the box by O'Connell. Reevan can't bring it under control, but he's putting a lot of pressure on his man, and he concedes a throw in 25 yards out. Yeah, Okonkwo sometimes getting blocked on his line. He was one of the Wickham goals. He was for a corner in the first half, and he's just taking a sort of 4 or 5 yard out position.
I think somebody's had a little word in his ear. Goalie coach, probably Aidan, has probably said, don't get boxed in there like he did against Wickham on that last goal. Get the other side of him. Trust yourself that you can get back in. If the player whips it in that near post, then you've got plenty of time to get back in there. But if you're blocked in, they've got a simple header from 4 or 5 yards.
So Bolton continuing this really good spell of possession and pressure. But it's the Wrexham fans who are making the noise. Terrific. That's a nice little turn and layoff by Thomason. Johnston's joined in midfield again. He's Sheehan. Wrexham have everyone behind the ball. They bring Toll into it, 25 yards out. And he goes on into the box after working it wide to Dacres Cogley. The wing back up against McLean. Level the edge of the box. Pulls it backwards again. Thomason feeds it inside. Cannon gets a toe to a pass to the edge of the area. Sheehan picks up the loose ball and helps it on. Collins out to the left. Good pressure this from Bolton. It's Reevan again against Shearn. Shearn pulls back. First time cross is poor. Johnston head in his hands. He got too much on that and it goes through for the goal kick.
Yeah, good possession for Bolton. But again, Wrexham really solid in there. They seem to drop into a 5, a 3. Then Palmer on the back of the two midfielders, just having a little nibble around the back and then leaving Marriott. And they're quite happy to leave Santos 1-for-1 up there. So that's why they've got the two centre-half stepping in with them and creating overloads. But Wrexham doing their job, getting up. When the ball comes to your man, you've got to get out and put the pressure on. Don't leave them to get turned and be able to play a forward pass. Done that very well so far.
59th minutes here at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium, a stadium name I can't say straight. I just can't.
Just say it slowly so that you get it right.
Yeah. Well, I can get it right. I just can't stop laughing when I say it. The ball drops inside kindly for McAtee, lifts it over the top, and that gives O'Connell the chance to get into that and control his header to O'Connor. He passes it on to McLean, up to the halfway line where Lee uses body well to control it, and then attempt by Dobson to just feed McLean down the flank. Doesn't work. Wrexham get a throw.
Not seen a lot of Dobson this half, have we? I know he's shielding and he's working hard with his team to stop out possession. He hasn't been able to get on the ball as much as we would probably like.
Throw down the line, bypasses Palmer and his marker. Marriott does well to keep that in and win another throw just inside Bolton's half, left hand side.
Well, Palmer's done great this half. For me, he lasted the 15 minutes, both boxes, you know, in the defensive box, he's headed a couple of corners away and got a couple of important clearances. And then when played on, he's been able to get something on it to just help it on and move the ball forward.
Well, he won't be able to challenge for that, although Santos' header isn't very good. Lee picks it up. He's got an option to his left of McLean, and is he waiting, pretending to wait for him, and then he turns and hits it, and the keeper has a stretch, goes just over the bar. He didn't need a touch, but Lee there just making people think he was going to go wide, and then...
That's right, he took it just a couple of touches really slow to let McLean get into a better position, which then draws your centre midfielder just out a little bit. He inches one way, and then he's nice and sharp, cuts back in on his right foot. Good hit just over the bar.
Short goal kick, and Wrexham win it back through Dobson. Looks like a free kick given away by McAtee, about 35 yards out, so another set piece for Wrexham. Not in such an exciting position this time, but still, chance to put something in the box. It's played short, and O'Connor now is on the left flank. Good ball to edge area. Marriott turns quickly, but turns into Sheehan. And Bolton are looking to break away. Referee just ran across Thomason's path, which I think helped Cannon to get back. There's a grumble from the crowd as Bolton's attack is slowed down.
Yeah, it was a good pass into Marriott's feet. Really good back foot as well. I think that's the way he just needs to play that little sharp one into Palmer's feet again and just play a little 1-2, maybe create something between the two of them. Just wasn't able to get it quickly enough to make the pass, and it's stolen off him.
Tall then feeds it into the Wrexham half on the right, but Wrexham again got decent shape. Dobson comes in to restrict space. Sheehan may have taken a clip after the ball had gone from Lee. Ref's not interested. And Tall feeds it to Sheehan. Tries to play it in behind Wrexham's defence. O'Connor intercepts. And in the end, McLean goes long, looking for Palmer, backing into Santos. Creates a loose ball, and Marriott's unlucky. Good foot in back by Tall, and it falls kindly for Collins, who's got men over on the right-hand side. He feeds it over to the flank to McAtee, pulls in an early cross. Good work by O'Connell. Off balance, facing his own goal, put out for a throw, level the edge of the area.
It's just a little bit unlucky in that, just that as that transition hits, it just falls just the wrong side of Dobson and makes Collins on the attack, and they've got 2 or 3 up that aren't getting back or haven't got back, which has enabled Wrexham to have the overload, but they've, to be fair, they dealt with it well, and like you say, O'Connell off balance, running back into the box.
Well, Bolton swing across in then, and it's easy for Okonkwo. This is what we persuaded Okonkwo, the sort of games he'd be playing in and why he should stay, isn't it?
Well, that's right, this is selling the dream, isn't it, to them? Yeah. That it's going to be involved in some really big games.
Here's Cleworth now, clips over the top. Marius will chase that. Santos will get there first, I think. And Marius again wins a throw-in off Santos, level the edge area. I think Cleworth looked up, saw Cannon beyond the strikers down the flank, but didn't realise that Cannon had run offside and he was running back when Cleworth tried to pick him out. But Marius did well to make something of it. Reven swings in across from the throw-in. Palmer's offside though, as he flicks it on. So free kick to Bolton. I
would have thought Parky would be looking at his bench now. 63, warm day, big pitch, out of possession, working really hard. Fletcher down, just gone out to warm up. Maybe other thoughts in his head. Might be Rathbone, maybe.
I had a premonition this morning that Fletcher was going to score from the halfway line. Mind you, I have a lot of premonitions that don't happen.
Sounds good to me.
He's had 2 goals for Wrexham. Was it Bradford and Gillingham? And they were close. So I reckon he's going to score one eventually. Why not today? As Santos put under pressure by Palmer. He's the last defender. Ooh, and he decides to sidestep Marius. Skill or luck. Either way, it was important he got away with that.
Yeah, very good, very brave. Because he had both Palmer and Marriott swarming him. Just a little nice inside hook chop between them. Yeah. Cool as you like.
Marius was aghast, wasn't he? Threw his hands up. He knew if he nicked her off him, he was in on the keeper. As Reven, lovely skill, beats Schön, who's pulling his shirt and then hacks him. Well, that's a card.
Double yellow, right?
Double, yeah, I was going to say, yeah. It'll mean that 2 of Bolton's defenders are on yellow cards.
Great play that, wasn't it?
Oh, it was wonderful.
Really
wasn't it?
Sharp.
Yeah.
Saw him out the side of his eye. Nice little scan over his shoulder. Revan into his back foot, little shot, drop the shoulder and off he goes. Nothing that Schön can do. Pulled back. Yellow card, definitely.
Fletcher's gone into the dugout now, whether that means he's stripping off or not. It's nice to see a player. Plenty of players have tons of pace and look exciting, but Reeven's got that Premier League academy technique as well.
That's right. Grown up in good coaching, good atmosphere, good culture. He's just looking to spread his wings a little bit with this move, I think, and certainly did it last year with games, and you just get that vibe for playing games. You don't want to go back and not play.
With the free kick then, floats it into the edge of the area. It drops loose and hit by McLean over the bar. It was a clean hit, but he couldn't keep it down. But again, Wrexham asking questions.
Yeah, a little snapshot from McLean. It goes past him over his right-hand shoulder, and as he turns round, it's coming straight back at him quickly. Good technique, good strike, but just can't get his chest over the ball or his knee over the ball, and it flies up high and wide. But again, first contact in the opposition's box by a Wrexham player. That causes the danger.
Bolton take a short goal kick. Santos drills a flat ball looking for the feet of Charles Great. Sliding tackle by Dobson. Oh, denies him. And now here's Cleworth. Wrexham having a good little spell here. Plays it down second hole. In the air for Cannon, though. He's pushed off it by Sheehan. Although letting it bounce, Johnston's caused a problem for himself, and Wrexham win it back by the corner flag. Palmer now has got Reeven in support. He rolls it into him. Reeven. He's got Schön again tight on him, and he wins the Wrexham throw. About 20 yards out.
Yeah, they're just getting a couple of more bodies around the ball on second balls that they didn't really have in that first half, and they're able to then pick the ball up in good areas, in good territory.
Reeven with the ball in his hands then for the throw. A run is made to the near post by Marius. Cannon's complaining. Cannon complained to the ref that Sheehan's grabbing hold of him whenever he runs. And after complaining, Sheehan virtually rugby tackled him. He's managed to evade him and give it back to Reeven now. And a return pass to Reeven. Asked a lot of him, but he's kept it. No, well, the linesman says it's gone out. I'm not inclined from this angle to agree.
He's a little bit closer than us. I think we've got to give him the benefit.
I don't want to give him the benefit, Dad. They were halfway through the second half. This has flown by. Wrexham doing a decent job. Yeah, going back to Reeven, I always find it really interesting when you look at players who've come through academies now and players that haven't, and how they can be on different wavelengths. I mean, God bless him, Mike Fondop, very much a law to himself. And Jordan Maguire-Drew, that he spent most of his loan spell with his hands on in the hips, because he played the ball that any academy trained. Well, there's a ball over the top for Marriott, intercepted by Johnston. He plays the ball that any academy-trained striker will be making a run for, and Fondop standing there looking at him. Wrexham with a free kick on the halfway line. The Wrexham fans in fantastic voice.
Brilliant, isn't it? Great scene behind that goal to our right-hand side. Yeah, what you get with academy players now is athleticism, pace.
Yeah, Wrexham played the free kick. Nice idea, but Marriott was clearly offside.
Yeah, technically very good, but that physicality is completely different when you go into League 2, League 1 Championship, and so that's why so many teams are trying to think outside the box. Shrewsbury, for example, is one of them, that they're all their second year pros, they go out on loan and go and play whatever, step 3, 4, 5, whatever, and try and get that experience of playing and physicality and what 3 points means on a weekend.
Now Bolton are breaking here, and O'Connor's in trouble. He'll be booked for that. It was the man over on the right-hand side played it there. O'Connor went to ground. He's complaining he didn't make contact, but looked like he did. It's got to be.
It did, yeah, and very similar to the Santos one with Marriott.
Yeah, very similar foul, similar part of the pitch. Less force, but then if Santos goes in gently, it's still going to register on the Richter scale, isn't it? So O'Connor gets a yellow, and Wrexham have a set piece to defend here. Two-man wall. It's only about 5 yards out from the goal line. The right-hand side, just outside the penalty area. There's been a flurry of free kicks in this sort of wide position. And Bolton hope they can capitalise upon it. Lots of players crowded in the box, including Johnston, marked by Cleworth beyond Okonkwo. at the far post. And Bolton have 2 players lurking on the outside of the box too. It's a real crowd in that 6-yard box. As it's clipped in flat, that's good foot in to put it behind for the corner by Revan.
Yeah, put a lot of bodies in there, didn't they? Wrexham to block. We used to do a corner with Keatsy and Mark Crichton, where we all put Wrighton on the keeper and one of us had come round, big Crites, out to the penalty spot for the pullback on one of those. Worked a little bit. Cambridge away comes to mind.
Here's the in-swinging corner by Bolton. Okonkwo can't get there, headed down and hacked away. Okonkwo has to deal with this again, and it's headed over the bar. Dangerous moments. Okonkwo couldn't reach the first one because there was a player right behind him, or when he backpedaled he couldn't get there. It was knocked down across an open goal. Cleworth hacked it away. Bolton were asking for a penalty, but I can't see why, really.
No, me too. I just don't know how he's missed. At the back post, Toll, he's just heading it with the 2 yards outside of the post. He's just got it a little bit wrong. Maybe done enough, the player marking him. I couldn't see who it was, but just pushed him a little bit out, and so his header goes across goal and thankfully cleared away.
Yeah, Wrexham were lucky there. Fletcher has come on there. It just goes to show that if you know, like I say, in terms of blocking people off or just having people in the right place, Okonkwo comes for it. There's just too many people around him to get back and get to it.
Yeah, the back post one is really key because Okonkwo's got his eyes on the ball, and if you stand behind him, he can't see you there. But as the ball travels over his head, as he goes, you can just stand and block without him really knowing about it.
Yeah. So Gian Charles is coming off, and Adebayo is coming on. Scored the winner at the weekend, and also coming on for Bolton.
Dempsey.
It's Dempsey, is it?
I think so, 22.
So he's a strong, aggressive midfielder. Adebayo's a good striker, like I said earlier. Went into double figures in each of his last 3 seasons, or 4 seasons rather. And Dempsey alongside him on the left-hand side of our front 3. Collins, I think, the other player who went off. As Wrexham knock it forwards, Marriott nearly nips in there. Yeah, it's Collins who's gone off. McLean wins it, flicks it beyond his man, and then plays an elegant ball out to the right. Revan has got Cannon busting a gut to go outside him. He cuts inside, drills it into the goal mouth, and the defender gets a crucial foot in to get it partly clear. Cannon knocks it down to the edge of the area. Brave by Dobson. Was he fouled? Ref says no. Great skill by Marriott, brings it down, and Cannon wins a corner. I mean, it came off a defender's hand, but you can't give a penalty for that. It hits Dempsey's body, ricocheted off his arm. There was a shout for a foul by the crowds, at least, on Dobson, I think right just outside.
Edge. Yeah, but it's just two really good second balls that we were able to keep it alive in there, and then a little ball to Cannon to put across, and a good block in the end.
Bolton really stretched then in that passage of play as O'Connor sweeps it in under the bar. Santos had it into the ground. Cannon can't win the second ball though. That's a lovely touch on the edge area to bring it clear by McAtee, who's then denied by a great tackle from McLean. Cannon trying to squeeze it round the back for McLean. Has won a corner, has he? Well, the linesman who reckoned Revan hadn't kept it in reckons that it's a throw, and it was kept in. I've got to be honest, I don't agree with him on that one either. That might be my bias coming into play.
I think so. I'm giving him the benefit anyway.
Fair enough. You're far too nice to these officials, you know. I'll teach you how to be
You'll
the opposite.
change me.
Yeah, don't worry. Revan shows short, gets it back from Cannon. Revan now taking on his man, goes round the outside, and his cross took a deflection, but it spun kindly for Baxter. Easy take.
He's comfortable on both feet though, isn't he? Revan happy to go down the outside on this right-hand side, have a go with his right.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see that, you know, we've got a lot of strength and depth at wing back, and he's there, can play on either side. As that's good persistent play on the right-hand side by Dempsey, who works it out to the left-hand side. Schön has got a run inside him, but sweeps to the far post, and again Okonkwo comes well and takes it at its highest point. Did I mention in all the action that Fletcher's come on? I'm not sure if it did.
You did.
I did.
You did, yes.
Good stuff.
Yep.
Well, he's still on.
Just like for like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Palmer.
Fletcher for Palmer. You say Palmer did a great shift, but I guess he is. I'll ask you a question in a sec. As Fletcher wins a good header to Santos, just gets out ahead of Marriott, puts it out for the throw, and then squares up with him. to stop him taking a quick throw.
I don't think he's going to get his arm. I don't think Marriott's
Exactly.
arms over his head would be over the top of Santos there. But
Sonny Liston is the guy who invented the stare at the start of a fight, and it just felt a bit like that. Sonny Liston on this occasion fighting a flyweight.
He is on a booking, so stopping him taking a quick throw is
be a good way to get a stupid red. Throw in comes to nothing anyway. Goal kick to Bolton. Yeah, knowing as Bolton are going to bring on a sub as well, and it's going to be Geordie Osai Tutu who comes on, and coming off will be Josh Dakers-Cogley, who I thought in the first half looked good going forwards, but doesn't seem to have gotten to as many advanced positions in the second.
Well, the ball's not been on that side of the pitch, has it? It's been a lot down this left-hand side.
And here's some experience. Scott Arfield is going to come on. As I mentioned before, he's...
For McAtee.
Yeah, come on for McAtee. So, yeah, Arfield is another player, a hell of a lot of experience. Canadian international. Won a couple of Gold Cups. And I can't be disparaging because so much of our audience are American or Canadian. As O'Connell hooks it partly clear. Good strength by Adebayo to beat Dobson to it. Thomason tries to slot it on the back of the defence, but there's too much on it. And it can't be kept in by the substitute, Osai Tutu. Yeah, I was thinking, like Palmer knows that Fletcher's probably going to come on with 20 left. Both strikers, you know, as a striker, is that something that makes you think, okay, I can really push it for 70, or is it just oh, I don't want to come off, but it always happens?
Yeah, I think you've just got to understand it. You know, Palmer's 30 plus as well, wanting to freshen it up. Fletcher's really good when teams are tired or more tired. Palmer goes out and bashes everybody to pieces for 70 minutes, and then he will free up Fletcher to go and do it. Yeah, I think Palmer will look at it and go, one, I'm starting, which is ace, and I've got the chances to go and score some goals and play and help the team. And even if it is Fletcher that comes on and changes a game or scores a winner, Palmer's been a massive part to that. I think Palmer will just look and I need to score a couple of goals as well as be that battering ram for Marriott, etc. If I can just nick in and win my fair share as well, then it keeps him in the team.
Okonkwo going long to Fletcher, who backs in well. Ball drops loose to Churns on the cover. A couple of moments earlier, Fletcher illustrated his prowess in the air, beating Santos, flicking it down, but unluckily for Wrexham, Osai Tutu was covering and able to pick the ball up. Poor ball forwards by Osai Tutu. And now here's Wrexham with Dobson in the centre circle. A measured ball just too far in front of Elliot Late. And it goes through to Baxter, who knocks it long. Adebayo is a big unit, and he barges into O'Connell, who does well to stay in his feet after losing the ball initially and making a tackle. Cannon over the top, looking to use the pace of Reven. He's up against Shern, level the edgy area. One man in the box, Fletcher on the edge. He cuts into the box, and he hits it left-footed, and that's a wild finish. He half asks for a foul, as there was a challenge on him by Johnston, but the ref's not going to give that, and it was well off target, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was Lee just waiting for the little set to him on the edge of the box, and he's gone for the shot. I think he was calling for a corner, hoping that he was going to get something, but nothing happening. Rathbone coming on for Marriott.
So, interesting again. It looks like he'll probably be in that advanced position, you would think, which is...
Yeah, I would have thought so. They'll leave Fletcher right up the pitch. Yeah, just going back to Fletcher and Palmer, the way that they go for aerial duels is very, very different. They're two different types of player. Palmer likes to get a grip of you, pin you, and then use that and his size and strength to then flick it on. Whereas Fletcher's a little bit different. He'll stay away from the centre half and he'll go up off 1 foot, and he's able to then jump across centre halves who are waiting and then can't feel you. So that was my preferred way, because I was not as tall as the centre halves, the grizzly, hairy people at the back. So I had to come up with a way of trying to work out how I was going to better flick it over them.
Wrexham concede a free kick on the halfway line. I used to think that when I watched Crichton and Marvin Andrews play together. You know, Crichton's just big and I'll just stay here. You're not going to get through me in the air. And Andrews has run up to win a header. Jeez, unbelievable.
Both of them could head it further than they could kick it.
Yeah. Here on the right hand side now, Osai Tutu. Back inside to the centre circle to Santos. 10 minutes plus added time left. Still no score, but absolutely gripping game. And regardless of what happens in the last 10 minutes, Andy was right to say this is a good barometer of how good we are. And, well, the answer is we look pretty good. Because here now on the left-hand side of a chance to come forwards. The ball's popped inside. Sheehan, 25 yards out, is crowded out, but feeds it square. Thomason works it wide. Osei Tutu hasn't got anyone making movements around him, and he's run into a bit of a trap as he hits the goal line. Did McLean put it behind? No, goal kick.
Yeah, defending. Both of them, McLean and Lee, helping out. Yeah, I was looking at their team before the game. Thomason, 22 yellow cards last season. Well, that's amazing. That is, you know, you would, if you're a betting man, Sky Bet being the sponsors of this, you know, yellow card for him, yellow card for McLean, were surely a great odds, but neither so far.
No, or Dobson.
Correct.
Yeah. 3 walking yellow cards. As Sheehan is going to come off. A little surprised at that, to be honest. And on comes Jay Matete on loan from Sunderland. But not as young as you often get, you know, when you get players, big players off on loan. He's a player who's gone off on a few different loans. That's maybe quite stuck for him. I think he's of an age now where he's a sort of player who goes off on loan and then you might buy him at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, those yellow cards. I mean, surely to get yellow 22 in a season, he must have been doing it for charity. As Fletcher beats Thompson in the air. Reven lets it run for a throw, 30 yards out. Reven with the ball in his hands. Down the line, Fletcher brings down nicely. He's tackled, but Reven picks it up, tries to thread the ball through to Rathbone. Doesn't manage it. Rathbone is chasing the back pass. Got fairly close, but Baxter cleared comfortably. Out for a throw. So back at Rathbone's hard work was worthwhile.
Well, that's right. That is brilliant by him, you know. Really, he's got nothing to gain from sprinting 40 yards across the ball, the box. But he does that, and what happens is the keeper ends up kicking it out of play just off the back of that, which is so key because it gives the defenders a little breather.
As Adebayo turns neatly, feeds it inside. Arfield is there, the pass just overhead, and Reven's able to get the ball clear despite the pressure. In fact, he's won a throw-in on the halfway line.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to go back to the keeper there, but he decided to let it come across him. Did well to eventually clear it. This is where your concentration, your focus when you are a bit tired. They've had 5 changes, I think, already. Bolton, Wrexham with a couple. You know, can you keep that concentration levels without the ball so that you don't give a cheap goal or just a cheap chance away? 7
minutes left. And Wrexham have worked so hard today, done so well against extremely strong opposition. Kluwer's throw goes over Fletcher and Santos blocks off Rathbone. That's a big diversion to get round him. Driving up, because there was so much trouble in the roads, he went through the back roads driving up and ended up at Beeston Castle. And it just sits in the middle of the road and you can go round either way. And I think Santos feels roughly like the same sort of distance going round. Wow, 25,957 is the attendance. Most of them from Wrexham, I'd imagine.
Well, it's just been brilliant, hasn't it? The atmosphere has been superb.
And it's the Wrexham fans singing, "You're only here for the Wrexham." Nice ball up to Lee, who turns nicely. Was he fouled? Yeah, free kick in midfield. Dobson tries an early diagonal towards Fletcher, who nods it back intelligently. Cannon's got a bit of space driving to the edge of the area, wide to Reven. He's got players attacking the box now. Left-footed cross is a good one. Santos wins it well, but clean in space, left side the box. The fans shout shoot or boo, depending on what colours you're wearing. And in the end, it's blocked well when he tries to cross it in. Back to McLean, but an under-hit pass by O'Connor. And it's clear as O'Connell has to go back to Okonkwo. Adebayo chases Eagle. He's got no chance, surely, of getting there. Kluwer chips along the channel. That's a good ball. Fletcher will get there. And now, what can he do with it? Cannon's made a nice one inside him when he saw him. And fair play to Johnston. He got the block in. Otherwise, Cannon was in a great position.
That's just a great ball from Kluwer, that. Just left it in there a little bit back, like a 7-iron, you know, into the green. Just left it a bit backspin so it doesn't go out. It just in all the space so that Fletcher can just go and retrieve it. and keep it, and then Cannon's able to get in contact with him, and just a good block out for a throw and right deep in the corner.
Short throw, Cannon, neat ball inside, took it the touch of a defender, didn't it? Yep, corner. I'm afraid I don't play golf, so I don't fully recognise the subtleties of that, but for me, it's like when you ball up a piece of A4 paper, good spitball, you want it to land on the teacher's desk, but not on the teacher. The difference between an internal suspension and an actual suspension.
Okay, good analogy.
Thank you. I
Probably,
think that's
probably better than the 7-iron.
I don't know about that. Although Cluas family are big mates with someone I used to teach with. I don't see where that linked together, but, you know, that must be what was in Max's head. In swinger then from O'Connor, right-hand side, 4 minutes left. O'Connor signals, sweeps it in nicely. Good header clear though. Comes back out to O'Connor, takes it on his chest, controls it, floats it in, not enough power, but a poor clearance to Cannon, who stabs to O'Connell. He drives it in the goal mouth. It takes a ricochet off a Bolton player, and now can Dempsey try to get away. Well, he skipped past 3 players there and works it out wide. Adebayo's got 2 players surging through the middle. Cannon comes across to try and hold him up. It's good skill. And then the ball's picked up again by Bolton. Shearn skins his man Dobson, stands in the cross, headed away comfortably by O'Connor. Fletcher will be beaten to it though by Toll, and he can't control it properly, and O'Connor this time does just hump it away. That's get our shape back.
That is a have-it clearance right there. Good header by Lee, great position he took up. Good play by, great break, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was such
Bolton.
a dangerous situation, but Wrexham managed to deal with it, and now can Wrexham break as the ball's picked up by Rathbone, going driving down right. He's got no support. He keeps going. No, Reevan's arriving now, and he sees him, knocks it off Bolton player anyway for a throw. About 25 yards out. Again, good work by Rathbone.
Yeah, good. Just carry the ball a little bit, take a bit of a breather. Revan's trying to get there. He's trying to get up with him, and then just take the little throw in because they're swarming, 4 of them around him. Take what you can.
So Reevan's got Cannon short. He's not in any hurry. Remember, we are 3 minutes plus at the time short of what would be a superb point. Like to win it, but a point would be a fine result. Thrown down the line, Fletcher only just gets there. It's a bit weak. Back to Reevan, and he's going to go backwards. Dobson, oh, that's a lovely idea. Looking for Fletcher, and he gets a ricochet and hits it from the edge of the D. Keeper parries it back out and is able to get up and cover it because nobody followed it in. But oh, what a good strike that was.
Yeah, it was a really good pass by Dobson into his feet. Great touch, and it's spinning, so he's even got time to wait for the spin to get taken out by the grass, and then he hits through it. He'll be disappointed because he hits the target, which is great, but he hasn't put it right in that corner. And like you say, nobody following it in for the keeper, spilt it.
Now Bolton with the diagonal, well won by Arfield. It's repelled, but it'll come back in again. Adebayo trying to turn Dobson. Well, does very well to dispossess him, but he's lost the ball in the box now. Ball pulled back to the edge area. Fans tell Thomason to shoot, and it's blocked, and this pace goes off it, and Okonkwo just keeps it in, despite the protest from the crowd. 2 minutes left plus added time now. Fletcher on the halfway line, but Okonkwo's not going to rush this because, well, until now when Rathbone makes his way up, they don't want to get onto his flick on if he made one. Okonkwo releases now, and that's inaccurate. Straight out of play, but at least in Bolton's half.
Yeah, keep it on the surface, surely, from a goal kick. How often he practices a kick like that? Come on.
Fair point. Throw-in's taken, and now here's Santos in his own half. Just looking around for movement. Shearn's gone very wide, and I will say to him, the other side to try and stretch Wrexham's defence. They moved around the back, a little bit of impatience from Bolton's fans. George Evans is getting ready to come on.
I think Wrexham have dealt with the shape loads better in this second half. They've been able to match up, get bodies closer. They've not been able to play through the middle like they did.
That's a fantastic tackle by Rathbone. Bolton win it back. Now they come striding through the centre. Maybe not for long though, as Wrexham close the door on that. And they work it instead to the left-hand side. It's an opportunity maybe for Dempsey, but he's pokes in a pass which allows O'Connell to prod the ball back up to the halfway line. And then Fletcher does well, chasing that. And Santos, when he tries to flick it down the line, finds his pass intercepted. And he can't take the throw because Wrexham want to bring on George Evans. There's 10 seconds and added time left now. It'll be Elliot Lee coming off.
Yeah, he's not been that creative force that we've seen over the last season, but his work ethic is second to none.
Yeah.
He runs and runs, and he's always an option for the man on the ball. He'll get better as he steps up and he understands the level.
I just think it's a sign of good management and terrific attitude from a player. Because surely he didn't come to be a box-to-box hard worker. He's come to be a number 10. But he's accepted that, and Parkinson's been able to frame it successfully as the ball gets through to the edge of the area. Good tackle by Cleworth. He knocks it off Adebayo. Okonkwo comes and claims it. 3 added minutes. Okonkwo stays down for a moment. I think Adebayo did make contact. He chased the back pass, but I didn't think it was a huge amount. Okonkwo was just running the clock down. He's taking his time now as well. Hits it down the right flank, looking for Fletcher. That's a better kick, is it? Fletcher's done ever so well to keep it in. But he's only picked out a Bolton player in Mateta. And he's driving forward till Cannon trips him. Free kick on the halfway line. We've had 1 of the 3 added minutes. He'll add a little bit more on for that substitution. Here on the right-hand side now, Asay Tutu. Feeding it down the line for Arfield, who gives it back. And Bolton just looking to build on the right, but Wrexham keeping their shape. Rathbone working hard to stop Mateta from coming forwards. The ball is switched to the left-hand side. Johnston fakes the cross, finds Schön. Good tackle by Reeve in the corner. Wrexham will have to dig in again. These set pieces have caused issues. Dempsey very quickly over to take it as well. They know time's running out. 1 minute and 10 seconds of the 3. Dempsey sweeps beyond to the far post. Adebayo's shirt getting pulled. Nothing given. Cannon helps it away well. Rathbone does well. Now can he feed it forwards? Wrexham got players pouring forwards. Reeven. This is 2-on-1. Reeven has got a man of marks in the middle and he doesn't find him. Oh my word. Dobson completely alone in the middle. Reeven went along the floor and it was intercepted. And now Bolton trying to get forward. Though Wrexham have kept players back.
It was just his first touch, took him really wide rather than going straight. And he had Dobson just making his way and he just couldn't get that pass on his weaker foot, playing that right-hand side. Just not able to get it around the recovering defender.
25 seconds left. Bolton were angry at Arfield for not going forwards, but Wrexham has far more players back than Bolton had forwards. And he did the right thing, but now Wrexham have got everyone back behind the ball. They say Tutu is chopped down by McLean. That's unnecessary. So Wrexham will have to defend another set piece.
He tends to do that, McLean, 1v1. He dangles a leg, he doesn't move his feet that quick, and he just hangs it out there. So if there is a tricky winger that can just shift it and lift it over that leg, then he's going to bring them down in really key places.
So Wrexham need to dig in. Surely this will be the last action of the match. Free kick. We're at 25 yards out, right wing. One-man wall for Wrexham. And they're holding a line around the penalty spot. Bolton players lurking goal side of that. Now they're shifting. The ball's floated in towards the penalty spot. Well, 2 Wrexham players go for the same ball, so it's only half clears. Schön looks to cross, but he can't, because there's the final whistle. And Wrexham can be very happy with that. They've come to Bolton, they've weathered an early storm. Okonkwo having to make a couple of good saves. And then have done well matching up Bolton's system. Have coped better and have shown threat going forwards. Fletcher coming close. Baxter having to make a sharp save when he drove across from him. And Wrexham, even with about 30 seconds left, nearly getting a chance with a 2-on break. 2-on-1 rather. Reeven couldn't find Dobson unmarked on the edge of the box. Some Bolton fans booing. Well, I think that's a compliment. I don't see why, but that's a compliment to Wrexham, because we've shown what we can do here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair result at the end of the day. Yes, Bolton did have, it says 70% of possession there, but they really didn't create a great deal in front of goal. Okonkwo with one save from Charles in the second half, and then the one-on-one that he saved on his weaker foot. But again, at the other end, we had chances as well. So I think that was probably a fair result. And Wrexham, I felt, grew into the game and were better in that second half than first. and I think they'll be delighted with a point coming away to Bolton, who only lost 3 games, I think, here last season.
That defensive unit got opened up a couple of times by Wycombe, but today I thought they did very well. I mean, it's a different type of defending, isn't it, when you're being forced back and sitting in a lower block, but nonetheless there was a lot of grit to be shown.
Yeah, and you've got to concentrate, always concentrate, and you've got to shift and move as your groups don't give too big a gaps, because they're ready to pounce on those gaps. But I thought they did it really well. The back 3 were good, and I think the 3 in front of them as well worked really hard. And then the outlets, you know, you're on the scraps for most of the game, but you've still got to work and help your team out, and they've come away with a really creditable point.
And then the hard work up front as well. Marius and Palmer occupied the centre-backs and created some moments of hope as well. And again, Reven, interesting move putting him on the right, but A, he dealt with Shearn well, and B, he got up the pitch very threateningly again.
Yeah, well, I think that's the reason why he played out there. That's why, tactically, I think that's what Parkinson went with, was to match up with Shearn, because he is such a sprinter, Shearn, and a really aggressive, pacey player. And they've dealt with him really well. He did really well. And the 2 up front, always outnumbered 3v2, but they keep contesting, they keep competing, and try and keep the ball for them to let their team get up the pitch. So I think they'll be really pleased with a point. I think they would have took a point before the game. You hope to nick one, don't you, and get away with a win. But like I said, a point away from home on your travels to one of the favourites for the league, you're taking that all day long.
And finally, just a word about Dobson, who continues to show he's a hell of a signing. And like you said, at half time, when we were getting put under pressure and players were just sort of giving the ball straight back to Bolton, he's the player you need in there who gets the ball down and starts constructively passing.
Yeah, he does, but I think the flip side of that, you've seen that side of him today, which is without the ball, his movement, where he puts himself to put off forward passes. He puts himself in passing lanes that really cuts off any passes into the striker's feet, and he just works tirelessly, and then he's constantly organising the 2 in front of him in Cannon and Lee to just move and set, and it just makes the game so much easier for him. But I think he's just been sensational so far. He's had a really good start to his Wrexham career, and I'm really looking forward to him having maybe 100, 200 games in there for us, hopefully.
That'd do us just fine, wouldn't it? Well, brilliant. So, a pleasing result for Wrexham. Still unbeaten in the league. A clean sheet on the road to very, very strong side. And, well, not much more you can say about it. So fans turned up in numbers, and they saw their team do them proud with a final score of Bolton Wanderers 0, Wrexham 0. We've been Mia Roberts, Andy Morrell and Mark Griffiths from Wrexham AFC.